Hello there, this is Diego. Today I'm going to be talking about cultural hegemony. Wait, hegemony is not a happy topic. Please remove those butterflies and rainbows. That's better. Before we can understand hegemony, we must understand culture and cultural ideals. Cultural ideals work kind of like a lens which one's cultural group sees the world through. These cultural lenses often decide what is right or wrong, weird or mundane, or basically anything else. For example, an American might find eating snails to be weird, but someone from Indonesia or France might not. A Catholic might claim to believe that cannibalism is immoral, wrong, or disgusting, yet he will eat the body of Christ and drink his blood. This lens analogy comes from the philosophical idea of cultural relativism. But now you're most likely thinking, I paid a good $0 for this kid to teach me about hegemony, not relativism. The topic of cultural hegemony comes up when we ask ourselves, who makes the lenses? Gramsci, the Italian Marxist philosopher who first coined the term hegemony, said that the powerful are the ones who shape the culture. The movies, for example, have a huge influence on the lens which people see the world through. A popular genre of movie from the early days of cinema was the Western, a movie that took place in a romanticized Old West. The Western assisted greatly in defaming Native American people by reinforcing the negative stereotype that all Native Americans were violent people. Although this racist worldview existed long before Western movies, they helped reinforce it and prevent change from occurring. What most people knew about Native Americans were from those movies. What one learned from those films was added into the lens which they saw the world through. Racism and xenophobia have been used to turn the workers against each other to distract them from the bigger issue, which is the oppressor they share. An example of this would be the anger Trump supporters have towards immigrants for, quote, stealing jobs, when in reality they should be angry at those who enable the exploitation of immigrants for cheaper labor. Sadly, they have been convinced by the ones who allow and benefit from the exploitation that the immigrants are to blame for all of their problems. Advertising media is one of the most prevalent hegemony examples today. For example, the wellness, fitness, and beauty industries have infiltrated our cultural lenses with unattainable beauty standards. It has become normalized to the point where we never think twice about where those standards originate. They have altered our lenses in order to sell products. The idea behind the advertising is that if one were to buy X product, one can achieve the unattainable beauty standards that they have pushed into one's brain. It's not only the beauty and wellness industries that have done that. If you look hard enough and long enough, you will see other ways that corporations have infiltrated a cultural lens. How can we combat hegemony so that we're not unconsciously affected by these messages? A good first step is to know about hegemony, so I hope I helped you out in that part. Another good idea is to always question and think about what you are thinking and why you might be thinking in that way. The term for that is metacognition. One must also, like the great publicly urinating philosopher Diogenes, question social norms and the status quo, hopefully not by publicly urinating. Through metacognition and critical thinking, we can hopefully live in a society. A freer society, where hegemony does not exist and the people can control their own lenses.